What's up, everybody? Andrew Mahone here. Got a super exciting video for you all today. Not only am I doing a Patreon giveaway, I'm also doing a gameplay video for you all to see. But we're going to start things off with the Patreon giveaway. I'm giving away some sweet stuff today. I'm giving away a Shadowless Blastoise. This is for my own personal collection. Yes, it's in played condition. I've signed the case, though. I think it looks super sweet, though, and is an amazing addition to any collector's collection. I think that Shadowless Blastoise is just an amazing card. I personally love base set Blastoise. Got that Rain Dance ability, just a classic card. Awesome stuff. So going to be giving that away. And then I'm also giving away the Legendary Bird Trio in EX form from the Plasma series. These are awesome cards. I love them. Pulled these out of my own personal binder. I have played just the three. These are my only three. I'm actually going to have to go get more of these cards, but I love these cards. Decided to actually sign the card right on the card. I think it looks super sick in that gold Sharpie there. So going to be giving those away to the second winner. And then the third Patreon winner from the month of April is going to get the super sweet sticker pack from my Etsy store. There we go. The Super Stoked sticker, the This Is Fine sticker, and the Me and the Sneasel on the skateboard sticker from my Etsy store. And let's see, without further ado, we are going to shuffle all of the names that I have so carefully cut out here into the Thrasher hat, and we're going to see who wins. First, we are going to start off with the sticker pack, giving away the sticker pack from the Etsy store, and that winner goes to Joey Benetti. All right, Joey Benetti, you win the sticker pack. Congrats, my dude. Moving right along, we are going to be giving away the trio, the Legendary Bird Trio. We've got Articuno, Moltres, and Zapdos here for one lucky winner. Up next, we are going to have, and let's give it a good shuffle. I actually recognize Joey's name. He may have won before, so I don't really know. Let's see. And up next, we have... I've got Joe Smith. All right, so Joe Smith, you win the Legendary Trio there, the Legendary Birds. Congrats to Joe Smith. And then finally, the winner of the Shadowless Blastoise in the signed case. This is the big winner of the month of April. We have got here, let's see, dig real deep, and really get in there, see what we can find. We've got Brian Skyrata. I know I'm butchering your last name, but Brian Skyrata, congratulations. You are the winner of the Shadowless Blastoise. Going to be sending those out this week, so congrats, guys, and thank you so much again to everybody who is involved in the Patreon. I actually just added some new tiers and stuff, so I'm going to go over those real quick as well before I get to the gameplay video. 79 Patrons right now. Thank you so much to everybody who, you guys are amazing, all 79 of you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Now, you guys can see, I got a goal for $500. When I hit $500 a month, I'm giving away a booster box to a random Patron for that month's giveaway, but I'm also, I just added this, going to be doing an AMA on stream. Thought that would be a fun thing for us to do as a community. So if you're interested in helping towards that, that is one of my goals. And then I also throw this chaser goal up there. If I ever get to the $1,000 a month, which, whoa, my brain would explode, would be totally nuts. But I've always wanted to do a marathon stream. So I don't know, 10 hours feels like a reasonable marathon stream. I haven't ever really streamed for longer than like 3 or 4 hours. So 10-hour stream, I'm saying I'm going to do if I ever hit $1,000 a month on Patreon. You guys are amazing. Thank you all so much to everybody who's helping out to reach those goals. Now, I also have the 2 tiers now. I've added a War Turtle tier. Of course, the Squirtle tier, you're entered into the monthly giveaways, which is what you guys see happening right here. But then the War Turtle tier, anybody who wants to give towards the War Turtle tier will be entered into the monthly giveaways, but also gain access to one exclusive video a month. And that's going to be changing from a month-to-month basis. One month, it might be a best of 3 tabletop series. One month, it might be a best of 3 PTCGO series between like me and a friend or something like that. One month it might be like a nationals prep video or something like that, where I break down metagame things like that, or really break down a specific matchup. I want to use this as like a space to do some really creative kinds of videos for you all. So if you're interested in bonus content, that goes under the War Turtle video. But don't worry, of course, I'm going to be pumping out daily content every day, well, as much as my human body can handle, onto the competitive channel as well, which is getting renamed very soon. So I'm very excited about all of that as well. But that's enough with Patreon. Thank you all so much. Congrats to the winners. You all rock and roll. Let's go ahead and get going on some PTCGO action. Now, the deck that I have for you guys today is pretty exciting. I got Zoroark, Lucario. I beefed this thing up a little bit. It's ready for the Forbidden Light format. Most notably, added a Diancie to it, but I also got the Sudowoodo and the Counter Energy in there. Just going to be trying that out because, to be honest, I haven't really tested Zoroark decks with the Sudowoodo and the Counter Energy too much. It's a little gimmicky, yes, but Buzzwole is really strong, and you could use it to just knock out a Buzzwole with the quickness. Yes, you could also use Mew, but Mew is a super big liability, especially with Beast Ring now, because Beast Ring can easily just respond to a Mew if a Mew gets up and in there. So we do have Mew, Mewtwo, and Sudowoodo Counter Energy as 3 different options to be able to take on that card. So cool, we just have a bunch of different options. I mean, also Sudowoodo could potentially get in there versus like a Gardevoir or something like that. If a Gardevoir were to load up enough energy to knock out a 1 energy Lucario or such as that, then you could use Mew, not Mew, but you could also use the Sudowoodo and the Counter Energy to maybe deal some pretty big damage to the Gardevoir, and you have Diancie to boost its damage. So like Counter Energy and Sudowoodo actually seem super cool and definitely usable, but I have no idea what I'm playing against here. Should be cool though. Sure enough, we do start our Counter Energy, and we've got no Bridget. All right, Zoroark, go get him. So let's see, what does my opponent have in these Charmander sleeves? They've got what appears to be Buzzwole. All right, very cool. So let's see if we can actually get it done versus a Buzzwole deck. Going to be leaning pretty heavily on our Lucarios here, even though my opponent definitely has Mew, as you can see from the active position here. This is a little bit of a tough spot for me to be in with the Riolu in the active position. I feel like this is actually one of those scenarios where you just go Lele, you grab the Bridget, and then you just have to do one of these guys here. So we're just going to retreat into the Lele. That is like kind of rough, but I feel like that's probably just where we're at right now. I don't want to get either my Zorua or my Riolu knocked out, and I think the Mew could easily do that. I mean, the Mew doesn't really have a great way to do 40 damage. I guess if I was playing against a I don't know. I don't really. Maybe the Mew couldn't do it. But I guess with Buzzwole, though, it could easily retreat into Buzzwole Diancie and do 70 damage to the Riolu to knock it out. So that would just be a lot of aggression for my opponent. And I don't really want to see that because I got a little bit of a bum start here. Now, I am anticipating that maybe one of my Pokemon does get knocked out. I'm not exactly trying to have a whole bunch of Tapu Leles on the field. That is not the goal here. We are not looking for that, but we do get an N. All right, so that's fine. I do have this kind of useless Tapu Lele out in the field now, but it's not the worst thing ever. And we do have a Brooklet Hill, so this actually is pretty cool. I also have a Bridget in my hand, so I won't need the Brooklet Hill. Should be fine. Now, so long as my opponent doesn't have, like, literally back-to-back Buzzwoles here, then or back-to-back elixirs on the Buzzwole in order to GX me. No, and it appears they do not because they attach that energy to their benched Rockruff, and they're just going to Jet Punch for 30-30. So I'm totally okay with this because they put an attacker out in the active position where I've just got a big old meat wall Tapu Lele. I'm not super concerned here. I can go and take a knockout if I want to. I could evolve here or strike maybe one of their bench Pokemon. Annoyingly, I do actually have a Flowstone on my Riolu, which is not what I want. I much prefer to not have that. I think I do need to draw cards, though, and just get set up more. And, I mean, I could bridge it here, or I could just end. And that, like, feels okay, too. I definitely want to evolve the Zoroark. But my opponent is threatening, like, a very nasty turn 2 here with the 1 energy on the Rockruff. I mean, that is very imposing. So I think I actually am going to just do the Brooklet Hill here. I'm probably going to grab myself. Let's see. I could jab for 30. That's 50. That's not a knockout on the Rockruff. I could knock out the Mew with that, which is actually kind of neat. I could Guzma knock out that and then just save yeah, I actually kind of like that. Okay, let's do that. No, I'm not knocking out the Munis 50. I don't actually have my Diancie out yet. So I think I'm thinking myself in circles. I think I'm going to do this, and I think I'm going to evolve here. And then let's put my opponent in a weird spot. We're just going to Guzma up the Rock Ruff with the energy. And then I think I'm just going to knock this thing out with Aura Strike. Now, I could have attacked into the Buzzwole there, but there's really, I mean, to me, I'm not really interested in doing that. Yes, I do leave the Zorua kind of weak on the bench. Yes, my opponent can just knock it out with a Jet Punch, but that means that my opponent's going to be hitting into the Lucario GX. And if my opponent hits into Lucario GX for a significant amount of damage, I could always Dankstankerous Beatdown for a big knockout. So I guess it would take what my opponent would have to do 50. If they do 50 damage, then I'm doing 150, 170. Actually, if they do 40 damage, then I'm doing 120, 140, and then 160. I would have to hit Field Blower. I'd have to hit Field Blower and then Choice Band back, and then also get my Diancie out of the deck, which I can do with Brooklet Hill. So I would really just need a Field Blower in order to make that happen. I have to imagine that they are trying to clear this Zorua out, though. But honestly, that doesn't really bother me. This Lucario has a Float Stone on it, and I can easily just take a little bit of damage, pivot to somebody else, and then maybe GX later if I decide that I want to. Do I actually, if I get another strong energy, what am I doing here with, if they do 40? 40 is a weird number, though. So they might actually be doing 40. It looks like they're either going to do 30 or like 50 would have to be my guess. But now this Buzzwole has 2 energy on it. Definitely want the thing gone, but it looks like my opponent does not have a supporter card. So they are actually kind of in a tough spot here. They do have Octillery drawing them cards, but I don't think they actually played a supporter. Let's go ahead, Brooklet Hill. I'm going to throw Choice Band onto this Riolu here. I don't think that there's anywhere else really super worth putting a Floatstone right now. I can Brooklet Hill for the Sudowoodo, but my counter energy doesn't work yet. Can get that Diancie, though. I do like that. Then I could bridge it for 2 more Zorua, which kind of feels bad. They got 30 damage on here. That's not a lot. That's 3, 6, 9. Then I could do 110. If I attach another strong, that's 130. 150 with the Diancie. I could do 180. That is not a knockout. So an easier way to do this would be if I just get a strong and a another Lucario. So let's just attach the Choice Band here and let's just end. I think that, or I go in with like a Sycamore. There is no Sycamores. Oh, that's right. So I think that I probably. Or I could just soften this thing up, Aura Strike for a little bit more damage, bridge it for 2 more Zoruas. I actually think I like that a little bit better. Let's just go in with that. That way, I'm just much more conservative play here. Want to get the Zoruas set up. I did kind of waste my Choice Band attachments, but that's fine. And then I'm just going to Aura Strike here for like 70 damage, which is a lot of damage because of the Diancie. So really, you could tell that I'm not like super well versed in Zoroark decks. I should have kept that Choice Bands in my hand, but I thought that I was getting ready to play a Shuffle Draw card. But now that I'm like looking at the board position, I think I'm okay with just jabbing that thing for a little bit of damage. I don't know though. Having that Mew there is super suspect. I could bait my opponent into knocking this out, then go in with N. I definitely, I just want the Zoroarks out. I need to have that additional draw there. Maybe going in on my opponent's Lycanroc early was kind of rough. But my opponent last turn Octillery drew and didn't really do too much. So I'm thinking that they might have like a weird hand just full of energy or useless cards, which if they absorption me here, then they totally do, or just Knuckle Impact. Right, they just aren't doing anything. So that makes me think that they've just got a weird unplayable hand, and now is a better time for me to end them than it was previously. So we want to go in, we want to get a, let's see, what do we got here? Parallel City. That's very good for me. Let's Brooklet all. I don't actually have too much in here. I do have Sudowoodo, though, which could be cool. So I think I'm just going to get that Sudowoodo just in case. Then I can parallel my opponent, too. I actually really like that. So I'm going to parallel them because they've got no good choice to make is with Parallel City right now. This happens all the time. Like, Parallel City is such an amazing card. They're either going to have to bump the Mew or the Diancie or the Rock. I mean, those are all bad choices. They don't want to bump any of those. I suspect that they'll bump the Mew just because they bumped the Diancie. Oh my goodness. Okay, so that's pretty good for me. I really, I definitely feel good about that. So, let's see. Ooh, we could be in a tough spot here if I don't hit everything that I need here. So let's just evolve this, and then we need to start trading. So I need to trade, hopefully, into some more stuff. Let's trade away this field blower here. See what I get. Another puzzle would be amazing. We did get it. Okay, so we're in business now. I could double puzzle. I'm going to go get the Lucario and the Strong Energy, which is going to get me that knockout on the active Buzzwole. Easy mode. All right, so we're going to do that, and then we're going to knock this thing out, and we are like in a very favorable position here with this Aura Strike. Definitely feeling good about that. A little bit salty that I would have knocked out a clean Buzzwole there, but that's fine. And now we've got Mallow and Puzzle of Time here. Unfortunately, I do not have another Riolu on my bench, but I do have Sudowoodo. If my opponent does manage to take a prize, I can always maybe watch and learn is an option here. But they would have to draw some pure gasoline here in order to take a knockout on the Lucario. I don't think that Mew is going to get there. And if Mew does just hit into my Lucario for a huge amount of damage, my opponent is just inviting up that Cantankerous beatdown, and I could easily just Guzma up one of their threats and finish it off. I think Sudowoodo with Diancie does seem like a very strong combination, just having the ability to watch and learn just for a stupid big amount of damage with that Diancie there. Definitely feels good. My opponent not having anything there before the Cynthia is big. Not even an energy attachment, no max elixir. That makes me just feel like my opponent's drawing some weird hands this game. They were kind of just stuck there for a little while they were just manually attaching to that Buzzwole. And yeah, I'm like in a pretty good spot right now. They do have B-String. Oh, there's the B-String. Okay, I was gonna say they do have B-String available right now. I not gonna lie, I kind of spaced on B-String. Now they're gonna bring up, who are they gonna bring up? They don't want to. I guess they need to bring up Zoroark, right, in order to go down to one prize. So they are gonna bring up Zoroark. That is super rough for me. Now I'm in a situation where I need to top deck out of this, or else I am just in a world of pain. My opponent cannot GX, but they are able to do 160 damage clean here. If they could just hit a Guzma or something like that off their final Octillery, they are totally fine. And yeah, man, I guess I played right into that, but I don't really think that that's the thing about B-String, is it's very hard to avoid either 4 or 3 prizes. There's really no good way to do that. So they got the one B-String off. That is good for them. And I am sitting here wondering what in the world I am going to do to try and finish this game off. Nope, I can't go up with Lele. I need to go up with Lucario. It's the only thing that's safely not getting knocked out next turn. So we do need to do that. Then I've got Mewtwo. Oh, but I've got no way to get that Mewtwo into the active position. That would be really good for me right now, but I don't have any Float Stones live. So I think that I have to just Mallow. Let's just take a look at my deck real quick. Oh, there are 3 Zoroarks in there. I think I have to Mallow and stack something onto the top of my deck. I do have my counter energy, but that's fine. Okay, that's done. Yep, sure. And then let's just, I think, bench the Mewtwo, and then Mallow, and then let's just Mallow. All right, we need to throw something on the top of my deck. I think we want to throw a Zoroark onto the top. And then also we need to throw a N, something like that, maybe. We could also throw counter energy. Ooh, there's like no good options here. Let's just Zoroark and an N. All right, let's do that. Yep, we're going to throw those onto the top of the deck. And then, yeah, I think I don't attach the DCE. I could, but I think I attached the DCE to my Mewtwo or something. Just seems like a little bit safer here just to get a energy down on that, just in case. That seems fine. And then let's just poke this thing with Aura Strike. Okay, there he goes. All right, so 100 damage. Pretty good for an Aura Strike. I am two-shotting this thing, so that's pretty good. But if my opponent just has Guzma, then the game is over. You have to imagine that they have it. And there it is. Oh, man. I feel like I kind of played myself that game. Like if I was maybe a little more practiced with Zoroark, Lucario, like I could have pulled that one out for sure. I definitely made some interesting route decisions early on there. So I want to throw this one more time, actually see what we can do with Zoroark, Lucario with maybe a little more practice, because I'm not gonna lie, I haven't played this deck in like months. So I am just out here kind of trying to learn my way through it as we go. So that's kind of where we're at. Looks like I'm playing against a Psychic deck now. I think potentially should have leaned more heavily on the Mewtwo, and I didn't even get Mewtwo and Mew out. So I definitely should have done that. But I did have the awkward start without Bridget. I probably just was overthinking things early on and should have just gone the traditional Mewtwo route there in order to deal with the Buzzwole. But I don't know. I wanted to try and just, I guess, use Lucario with Diancie. I was just excited about that combo and was probably misinforming some of my decisions. Shouldn't have gone so aggressively in on that Rockruff, and then just totally spaced out about Beast Ring, because that's the thing now, and I got to be a little bit more careful, a little bit more wary of that. Now it looks like I'm playing against Espeon Garb here. I have no idea how this matchup pans out, but I'm feeling pretty good about it. I do have my own Mewtwo. I do have Mew as well. I'm only playing 2 copies of Field Blower, but this is an awesome starting hand for me. I mean, really, this is everything I want. I've got a Bridget and a Zoroark and some Ultra Balls, so I know that I can go off turn 2 with just a number of Zoroarks and hopefully just do a substantial amount of damage with them. Now, I am playing 2 Floatstone and 3 Guzma as well, so Guzmas are going to be good for me to be able to get out of Espeon's confusion. Oh, there is Drampa and Tauros. Okay. So that's fine. I mean, really, Lucario is very good against both Drampa and Tauros. And it looks like my opponent just has the whole gang is here. Okay, they've got Eevee, they got Tauros, they got everybody out here. Okay, so let's just bridge it. And we're going to go get probably just, let's get 2 Zorua and a Riolu. So that is like fine. And then I think like I probably just put up the Riolu, and because I have a Floatstone in my hand. So I think I just retreat into the Riolu, and that's because Riolu's got 70 hit points. So the Tauros's Horn Attack actually will not knock out the Riolu. Then I've got Zoroark next turn. So I do like that, and it just gives me plenty of options to draw. And I've only used just 1 card. Just use the Bridget. Haven't really burned any of my items yet. Cool stuff here. Now, if my opponent does take the bait and just like slaps into this Riolu, that is going to hurt, because I can always just save that for later. And I could go in with this the Cantankerous Beatdown. If they decide to confuse me with Psybeam, again, I could just evolve and can still Cantankerous Beatdown, then that Espeon for knockout. So I have a bunch of options here, and I have the Field Blower in my hand. In case my opponent gets a turn 2 Garbodor, I am ready for it. Nope, they are going in. Ooh, they're diving head first. They are not scared. They are not scared at all. Now, my opponent did not get the turn 2 Garbodor, which is really good for me because I don't want to have to use that Field Blower quite yet. So I could trade away an Ultra Ball, but I think I want to just Cynthia first. Let's just Cynthia, see what we get. I don't want to trade away items if I can help it. So I definitely want to Evo Soda into that into that Lucario there. So let's do that. I'm going to Evo Soda. I guess Evo Soda into Zoroark first. Let's Evo Soda into Zoroark. So now I just have 3 trades. And I don't really want to trade away any items because that just gives my opponent more fuel in the fire. So let's trade away an end. Try to just keep as many items out of the discard pile as we can. All right, so that was the perfect draw there. That was really good. So we could just Evo Soda, evolve, and then just knock that thing out. Now my opponent will probably be able to return knockout that Riolu, which I don't super like, but that's probably okay. All right, let's trade away something. Actually, no, I don't want to do that. I do want to just Evo Soda first. Let's get the Lucario out. So we're guaranteed we got that. Then let's trade away, I think the counter energy I don't necessarily super want. I would rather have like another Pokemon on the bench. And then let's trade away. All right, let's trade away an Ultra Ball. I just want to make my hand as big as possible. Okay, and we got a Diancie, so that's pretty good too. None of the cards are just, I really wanted another Riolu or something, but I think that this is fine here. I could just slap the Diancie down, though I know my opponent plays Paralycity, and I don't want to have to get rid of the Diancie, so I probably am okay just going in here, and then I'll throw down the Diancie, sure. And then let's just Aura Strike for knockout. And I guess my opponent should be able to return that knockout there with the Espeon. Because if they just slap a DCE, oh, there's some Pokemon. All right, very good. If my opponent just slaps a DCE onto the Espeon there, then they can Psychic me for like 90. That's 180 plus the 60. Totally a knockout. They're totally fine there. I do have 3 items in the discard pile. I need to be a little bit careful so that I'm not just burning through things. 3 is like an acceptable number, especially since my opponent does just have like a Drampa just out there right now that I could definitely take advantage of. Now, if my opponent whiffs the Garbodor here, that is huge for me because then I am just cool. However, I have to assume that they probably have cards to get themselves Garb. After all this is their turn 3 by now. They've played plenty of draw supporters. They should, by all means, have a Garbodor. And there's the Ultra Ball coming down. So they are going to be going for that Garbodor there. They're going to lock my abilities up. Now, the real question is, did they get a DCE also? Because if they don't have a DCE, then I'm in for another Aura Strike, and I can Aura Strike for a big amount of damage here. 30. I can Aura Strike for like 100 damage against that Drampa, which is pretty good. So, do they have the DCE? That would be a big rip for them off of this if they did. Now, if they just confuse me, that's fine. I can work with confusion. They did not. So, maybe they're going to go in, yes, and just remove my energy. Pretty smart play on my opponent's part. Oh, big wheel! Oh my gosh, they must not have had anything. Okay, so they're just like inviting up the knockout. Oh, and I have the energy. Oh my gosh, that is crazy. I can just totally just knock out whatever I want on my opponent's side of the field right now. That is completely nuts. But I think, oh my goodness, what is the best thing for me to knock out here? And I can just, I can Cantankerous beat down this Drampa, or I could Guzma and Cantankerous beat down the Espeon. Got to figure out which I am like more scared of. I feel like the Drampa's Righteous Edge is going to be very annoying, so I think I just want to knock that out. I can also parallel my opponent. I could, which would actually be a pretty sick play, is I could Guzma up the Lele to knock it out, and then force my opponent to take off another Pokemon, but then they get to choose. So they would probably knock off that Trubbish there and just place another one down. So I don't really like that either. They would keep the Drampa and the Espeon, which is what I don't want them to do. So I think I just parallel them just so they don't parallel me. Let's just do that. And then, I mean, you have to imagine they have an end here, but I'm probably just going to stack my cards anyways to try. Oh, yeah, never do that. Okay. So Sure enough, I would have just drawn out of that the old-fashioned way. Live and learn. Okay. And then I think I'm just going to Cantankerous Beatdown. All right, let's do it. And then hopefully I can get myself a Field Blower, Draw Supporter, or something, anything. Okay, there's a Zoroark and a Watch and Learn Sudowoodo. But I do know that I'm getting Puzzle for my next 2 cards. That's pretty cool. I'm just going to sit here and take a little bit of a beating, though. I've only got 2 prizes remaining, and I just got to figure out how to... Oh, that was mean. Mean. That is totally mean. All right, we got to get rid of this Diancie here. Unfortunately, the Diancie must go. And my opponent's got the Garbodor. They're just going to Trash Lance me. They don't care. And they're going to end me with the Garbotoxin out. This hurts. And I haven't played a Field Blower yet. It'd be nice if I could run into one about now. Oh, yeah! Gosh, we're so good at this game. Okay, so we got the Field Blower. Let's see. All we need to do is fill up my bench and get a DCE onto the Zoroark, and we can knock this thing out, which is actually not going to be a problem at all because I got this Field Blower, so that should be cool. Oh, and I've got... Okay, my opponent's going to be salty that I hit literally the best cards possible off of this end. Okay, so now we get to go in, and my bench is no longer limited, so let's go in with a Lele. Yes, I'd like to find a supporter card. Let's go find we can find a Bridget and go get 2 more Pokemon onto my bench just to kind of guarantee that I have a full bench, and then just trade, hope for a DCE. I guess 3 DCE in deck. Okay, let's just get a Bridget. Yeah, let's get the Bridget. Done. Okay, that's fine. And then I think that I'm going to start off by trading. Oh, no, let's just bridge it first. Let's just do this. Okay, we're going to get the Mewtwo, and we're going to get a Riolu. That seems fine. Cool. And then let's just start trading. All right, trade, and I get to draw 6 cards here. I just thinned my deck a little bit. I could draw a double puzzle. That would do it. Let's trade again. Or I could just draw the DC. Maybe this was like not the correct order to hit this stuff that I need. Quite potentially could not have been. I could have probably just gone for a draw supporter instead. Oh, we got there. All right. So, yeah, we're feeling a little bit sketchy about that for a minute, but this is fine. We have made it. Riot is beating, 120 damage. Perfect. And my opponent does not have a pesky Garbodor in the hopper here in order to take me out. So maybe, you tell me, maybe I could have done a better play there, but I was feeling a little bit of pressure with the time clock. I've really run my time clock out on this game, so I'm thinking that maybe getting just the Cynthia would have been better there and just trade than Cynthia and hope that I hit all the cards I needed, but Bridget, I felt like Bridget had a decent chance of getting me there as well, since my options to hit the DCs were pretty good. I had 3 in deck, and then also had double puzzle as an out to it too. So I think was double puzzle. Yeah, double puzzle was an out to it. So alrighty, let's see what my opponent does. I think they're probably wanting to hit like an N and confuse me. That's probably like their big deal right now. If they had a second parallel city, now would be the time to do that. For sure. They're laying down all their stuff. Looks like they're about to end. If I had to guess, smells like an end, feels like an end. Oh, DC goes there. Yep, and here's an end. All right, so they've got Han Lele out here, getting ready to go ham. End to 1 scenario. Gosh, we're good at this game. Gosh, we're good. Some games you just do this to your opponent. It feels bad, you know. I mean, obviously they did everything they could, but then I just drew exactly what I needed to draw, exactly when I needed to draw it. So let's go. Cynthia, sorry, opponent. I'm sorry. Sorry, man. Just really drawing hot today. So let's see. I actually don't have like a great option versus Espeon right now. I think that I needed an energy for sure just to be able to retreat and attack into this thing. I think I probably just go in with my attack. Not going anywhere. I'm not going to evolve yet. I can Ultra Ball some... Oh! looks like I'm doing nothing because I was I was thinking, and the time clock ran out. I think I would have liked to have gone for the attack there had I not let the time clock run out there. Think I would have liked to have gone for it, but I guess this is a fine middle ground. We'll just put the ball in your court, sir, and see where you go from here. Now, I can hit, what if I do 120? If I get the choice band, that's 150, and strong energy, I can actually hit a knockout with that Lucario if my opponent does come up with Tapu Lele. But all I need is like a Guzma and an energy, and I can knock out that Garbodor on the bench for game. I've only got one prize remaining, but let's see where my opponent's at. I would have really liked to have just hit it. If I had just hit the Espeon, I really put a lot of pressure onto my opponent to have to do something. But then obviously if I fail, I'm at 70 damage, meaning I've got 150 left. Then my opponent can hit me for 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. They actually could have knocked me out if they attached a second DCE to the Tapu Lele. So that could have been bad for me. Let's see how many items I have left. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 items in the discard pile, so it's no wonder. And they did have the second DCE, so maybe that was a good thing that I didn't try to go for it. Okay, we've got... They do not have N. I have to imagine they don't have N. So let's just go ahead, Ultra Ball away Bridget and Zorua here. And then I'm thinking that I'm going to grab myself a... See, show playmat. I've already got a Lele in hand. Let's just grab the Mew, just in case we like hit something crazy off of this. I'm just going to single puzzle. Let's just do that. See what we got here. We do have a Cynthia. We do also have a Guzma. I think I got to go for the Cynthia just next turn. Try to draw out of this situation with that. And then I could just retreat, deny my opponent some prizes. I actually kind of like that. So let's just retreat into this Lele here. My opponent is not going to be doing anything super crazy with that. Could retreat in the Mewtwo as well. That's probably fine. Actually don't really mind that. It's just a non-EX. Kind of force my opponent to take an odd prize here and just put the ball in their court. I know I'm getting a Cynthia next turn. They would have to Guzma up my Zoroark. And actually, the Zoroark is like pretty good out of one-hit KO range now, or out of KO range, because I retreated the energy off it too. So they are going all their chips are on that Lele. Ooh, they do have Guzma. Are they hitting the knockout? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 130. Yes, they just have enough. I cannot believe that was their hand. Like that was their hand. I can't believe that. That's pretty wild. Okay, so I think I just go here and just hope I hit a strong energy off of this incoming Cynthia, because I've got the Lucario, I've got the choice band. Let's just go in and try to end this game right here, right now. Now I'm going to bench the Lele 2 just so that I thin my deck by 1, and we have 6 cards here, and we've got double puzzles, so that should be it. Let's go ahead, get 2 cards from our discard pile. Going to get the strong energy, and that should be good to go. So let's just get that. And that should be it. If I've done my math correct, very high chance that I messed that up. Pretty sure that we just can Aura Strike here, and that should be game. So good game to my opponent. Crazy game. Ooh, I prized my other field blower. We drew exactly what we needed to there off of all of those ends, which I think is probably just what we have to do against Garbodor. We don't have like a lot of other options there. It's just like, yeah, they get Garbodor up, they end you to low, and you need to draw what you need to draw. So fortunately, we were able to pull that one out. Thank you all so much for watching the video. Make sure to like the video, sub to the channel, check out all the Etsy store Patreon stuff in the description below, and thank you so much to everybody who has contributed and donated through that. You all are amazing and what keeps me driven to do this every single day. So I really, really appreciate all the love and support I've been getting. Again, we are going to be sending out that Shadowless Blastoise, the Moltres, Articuno, and Zapdos signed cards, and the super sick, super sweet sticker pack to those winners. Thank you all so much for watching. Peace.